All right, today I'm sitting here on the back of my plumbing truck again, and I'm going to talk to you about pressure reducing valves and what they do and why they do it. So we change out a lot of these, and it's probably the hardest working valve in your whole plumbing system. And it's very important because what it does is take street pressure and reduces it down to your normal fixture working pressure. And I've tested or put gauges on houses and checked the pressure, and it's registered as high as 180 psi. And it should be around 60 psi. If it gets over 75 psi, and psi is pounds per square inch of water pressure, it can do a lot of serious damage to your plumbing fixtures, and mostly, probably the most serious damage is to your water heater. It can ruin or mess up a lot of other valves, but the water heater is probably the most expensive plumbing fixture in your house. So here's one right here that we changed out recently. And it's got a little label on it, and I'm just going to read that label to you real quick. It says, notice, at a minimum, this product requires annual inspection, maintenance and cleaning to ensure proper performance and maximum life. Periodically, a pressure gauge must be installed downstream of this device to verify proper valve setting adjustment. And then he goes on to tell you, if you don't know what you're doing, you should have a qualified licensed plumber do the inspection and or replacement. But the most important thing I thought when I read that was it says at a minimum this product requires annual inspection. So, who is going to do that? Who's going to call a plumber out to inspect this valve? And the only way to inspect it is to disassemble it. And many times, the only way to disassemble it is to cut it out on either side of the pipe like this and take it out, take it apart, check it out, make sure it's not all busted up inside, and then put it back together again. And I mean, you might as well just call somebody out to put a new one in every year if you're going to do that. I don't know what these people are thinking, but it's expensive to call a plumber. I know, I'm a plumber. But anyway, I'm going to take this thing apart and just show you what I found when I took it apart. It failed. Actually, it failed, and the customer was getting very low pressure, and I figured that out when I took it apart. Let's look and see. Don't try this at home. I did that by hand, but that's because I have superhuman plumbing strength. No, actually, I put a wrench on it earlier and took it apart. But anyway, here we go. Looky here. That's the inside. But anyway, see this spring right here? That spring's real important because that's the thing that you can adjust the pressure on it. And what I found when I took it apart was that the spring was broken. So it was adjusted all the way out to its minimum pressure. And so when we checked the pressure on the house, it was like 40 psi, and when they ran more than one fixture at a time, it dropped even lower. So this little spring here broke, and that's what caused the low pressure problem. So anyway, I want to show you a comparison. By the way, this one I just took apart, that's like a $50 pressure reducing valve. That is a cheap piece of junk. So comparing it to the spring of the one we put in, you can see it's a lot bigger and a lot more heavy duty. And this thing's not even made out of like stainless steel or anything. See how rusted up it is? But anyway, that one, this is a brand new one on my truck. This is the one we put in. It's like $150. So yeah, it costs more, but it's a whole lot better valve. And if you want to protect your plumbing system, this is, you ought to go spend $100 extra and go with a better valve. So anyway, this one comes with a set of instructions too, and here's what the thing looks like on the inside. And I don't know how it reduces the pressure. You'd have to get like a mechanical engineer to explain that to you. But I've looked at these things, I've studied them, and I don't know how. I think it's pretty amazing that it can take something coming into your house at over 100 psi and reduce it down to 60 psi, and do that consistently for years and years and years and not fail. But they do fail, everything fails. But this one will last a lot longer. And here's the typical setup for putting it in. I don't know if you can see that or not, but what it shows is, first of all, it's supposed to be installed in an accessible location. And many people think accessible is a little 6x6 panel in the sheetrock somewhere where you can shine a flashlight up there and see it. Then I get out to people's houses and I see that and I go, I gotta cut the sheetrock out to even get to the thing. It's inaccessible. I can't get to it. So just because you can see it doesn't mean it's accessible. But anyway, the best installation is over here. This is the most important thing. I don't even know if you can see that. But anyway, it shows a pressure gauge on the outlet side. And to me, that's very important. But when I offer that to people, I don't know whether they think I'm trying to sell them something extra or, jack up the price or whatever. But nobody ever wants to do that. But you should have that. And then you should go look at it every now and then. So anyway, that's my 2 cents worth. The most important valve in your house is the pressure reducing valve. And it does the most work and it does the hardest work. And you should have a really good one. So that's my 2 cents for the day. I'm signing out. Have a good one.